up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host and captain, Garrett Morlang. And here in the studio with me is none other than...
JJ Purdom, who I also thought was captain. I thought we discussed this, and if anything, if this thing was a pirate ship, it would be me as the captain, and you would be my first mate.
No. That's definitely not how it went. So you guys don't know yet because you have not seen our Manamadan playthrough. But my new nickname is the captain. So
he's been trying to get people to call him that all week long, and it's been one of the saddest things I've ever seen. As he's like, "Well, some people call me Garrett, but most people just refer to me as the captain."
Or Cap.
Like,
Cap's a good name too.
Yeah, Cappy for short. It's like, Garrett, come on, nobody wants to call you captain.
I mean, I think it's a pretty legit nickname. I've never had a nickname in my life because you can't really like shorten Garrett, and there's not really. I've never done anything cool enough to warrant like a cool nickname, like I don't know.
Oh, now my
like Slick or something.
Now I'm feeling. I called you Slick earlier. Remember?
Yeah,
I said, "Hey, what's up, Slick?"
But
that counts.
But Cap is cool. Or Captain.
Captain, yeah, Captain, like Captain Crunch.
Actually, now that I think of it, I had a job. I worked at a car dealership in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
I was a lot attendant there, and they called me Captain, and that's not even a joke. It's just hitting me now. Like for when I left,
I'm telling you guys right now,
when I
making
left,
that up.
When I left, they gave me a little bottle of Captain Morgan because, well, my bosses, we called him Sarge, and so I got to the point where I was like, basically running the show when he wasn't around, so they started calling me Captain because I was below Sarge.
Oh no, Garrett! I have this horrible impression that you're the kind of employee that when the boss goes away, that you kind of feel self-entitled, and so you're walking up, you're like, "All right, guys, butts and elbows. That's all we want to see. Let's go ahead, let's pick that stuff up. You just drop there, Jimmy. Yeah. Oh, you want a little write-up on that? You know, is it something? That's what I picture. Am I close?
No, not exactly like that. I just, my personality, like...
Oh, I know your personality, Captain.
I'm quiet and reserved, but then, like, when it comes down to it, I want a job to get done right. Like, I'm a perfectionist, so I'm quick to get in there and be like, no, that's not how we're going to do things. That's not how this works. This is how we do it. This is how it needs to get done. So we're working at the car dealership as a lot attendant. It's like, oh, we're lining up cars. All the big new shipment will come in. We're making the lot look real pretty, real nice. So when, my coworkers would get out there and get them all cockeyed and crooked and stuff.
I could only imagine you
even
out
just
there
by
with
the littlest bit. Like I could tell. I could look at it and be like, that's off like 2 inches. You need to fix that. And they'd be like, what?
I have a horrible impression of you being out there with like a wooden ruler and like measuring
I didn't even need the ruler.
fraction of an inch. Oh.
I didn't even need the ruler. My eyes are
confidence.
that good. I could look down a row and be like, that one, and the last one are all out of line.
Well, you didn't call that here all about how he could measure stuff. But although, we are the Super Gamer Boys, I am JJ. He is the captain, Garrett Morlang. We're going to start spreading that stuff around. But what we normally do on this podcast and now on YouTube as a podcast show, I don't know if you would call that a show podcast or podcast show. Or
video podcast? I don't know. Video
podcast, an audio/visual entertainment extravaganza that happens weekly. We are the Super Gamer Boys, and you, if you like us, and only if you like us, we could really use your support. And where exactly could the good listeners and good watchers out there support us, Garrett?
They could check it out. Check. Ooh, man. Today's been a long day. I'm not good at talking. But if you're good at looking on the internet, you could always look us up at patreon.com/supergamerboys, where you could check out the different tiers we have there, where you can be a sponsor, such as Bill Bird, and our new sponsor.
What? Wait!
We have
There's
a new sponsor.
sponsor?
We have a new sponsor. It is one Julie Bates, or as everyone in the podcast may know her as, Grammy.
Oh, Grammy. Oh, I am so excited. So that means you definitely do listen to the show, Grammy. And I just want to say personally, from your favorite grandson, JJ, I'm just so glad that you're now supporting us on the show. And I promise, Grammy, we'll be talking about you a whole lot on the show from here on out.
I know. As soon as I saw it, I got the email. I woke up like all bleary-eyed because, we're West Coast time. So they've been up for 3-4 hours and I'm still, trying to roll out of bed. And I look at my phone. I got this email like from Patreon, like, you got a new subscriber. I'm like, oh, awesome, cool. Like, who is it? What's going on? And then it was like Julie Bates. I'm like, what? Like, really? Like, I was like instantly like, I was up out of bed. I'm like, this is amazing. This is so cool. This is awesome. I'm like, oh no, like JJ's gonna make so much fun of her. Like, I texted her right away. I'm like, thank you so much for subscribing, but you have to know, like, JJ's gonna talk so much crap about you, and I'm so sorry.
Why would I ever do that? I love Grammy, and I'm just excited that you're part of the family now, Grammy. I mean, you already were part of Captain's family, but now you're definitely part of my family. And don't forget, I will go ahead and be emailing you my address so you can send me that PS5 at Christmas time. Love you, Grammy. I love you.
So bad.
What?
And also shout out to our Patreon producer, the magnificent Matt Liu.
Matt Liu. I'm also going to be sending you my address so you can send me stuff at Christmas time. I love you, Matt. I love you.
Yeah,
I'm just going to go with that.
I don't think. You're just going to send your address to everyone?
Everybody gets my address.
You're going to start getting hate mail. Maybe you shouldn't.
Wouldn't be the first time I've gotten that.
Maybe you shouldn't just give
I'm
your address
married.
to
I know
everyone.
all about hate mail, Garrett.
Oh,
Okay?
no. Also, just want to remind you guys, we're also part of the HP Video Game Podcast Network. If you haven't already, go to Twitter. It is, I should have had this ready, huh?
I could tell you right now if you want to know.
Yeah, go ahead and tell them.
It's on, well, there's a social media site, folks. You can do it in 140 characters or less. It's called twitter.com. I think they've actually broken that whole 140 character thing. So you go on to there and you subscribe and like our... I feel like I'm having a seizure. Garrett, help.
Here's what he's trying to say.
Yes, okay, yes.
If you want to see what other shows are on our podcast network, because there's a lot of good ones, go to @HPVG Pod Network. So it's kind of an abbreviated version. Or just if you go to our page, I'm sure we've retweeted a couple things from it. So
yeah, I was gonna say that, but no, you know.
If you go there, you can that account basically retweets all the new episodes that come out for all the other shows. So go check those out. I'm looking here just at the top. There's recently an episode by Backstage Gaming Podcast, Life and Times of Games, which is that awesome documentary show we've talked about. Handsome Phantom has the HP podcast. So go check some of that stuff out. We're part of an awesome network, so some awesome people. And show them some love. We're
excited to be part of their network. It's been an awesome network, and Garrett is extremely worried about us getting kicked off at some point for something I say. So I just want you people out there to know, especially our Video Game Podcast Network, to know that if I ever say anything that's inappropriate, it's only for jokes. It's for humor. Please do not be offended, and please do not get rid of Garrett and me from the network. Thank you. Yeah. Sincerely signed, JJ and the Captain. Oh my gosh. If we ever make a band, that's going to be our name. JJ and the Captain.
JJ and the Cap?
Yeah, and Cappy. I want to see you wearing like a cool cap with that now. I want to see you like with one of those like old guy hats.
If someone wants to send me one, I'd wear it.
Yeah.
So if you want our address, hit me up and I'll give you an address to send something to. I'm not giving you my address because I don't trust any of you guys.
Unless it's Grammy.
Exactly. And also, we've been putting out some YouTube stuff. Obviously, the show is now video. So if you listen to this audio, go over to supergamerboys.com/YouTube and you can watch the episodes with our video. You can see what our grubby faces look like, as well as see our new Let's Play series through October. Every Thursday, we are releasing basically different playthroughs through spooky Halloween horror games and stuff. So the first one we did with Blair Witch came out last week. Now tomorrow, as of when you will probably listen to this, because we're recording this on Monday, but on Thursday of this week, you will get part one. We are doing, we didn't say it last week because I want it to be a surprise, but we'll reveal it right now.
Oh, you're going to get hot scoops right now.
Right now. We are doing a full playthrough from start to finish of Man of Medan, the hit game by what was it? Supermassive Games, the people who did Until Dawn, PS4 exclusive, and then he also did an Until Dawn game for PSVR, which was actually a lot of fun. I forget what it was called, but it was a lot of fun. Where basically you're like in a little roller coaster going through these circus rides, but it's all like zombies and horror and skeletons and stuff.
So we promise that because Garrett is not normally ever, as somebody who ever, let me say it again, ever finishes games, I promise that through the course of this month of October, right before All Hallows Eve, we'll make sure that we play through and finish the entire game. I stake Garrett's life on it.
Yeah, so look forward to those each and every week coming out Thursday. Part 1 comes out tomorrow, and then every week after that, we're gonna break it up into 4 parts for you. So yeah, it'll be good, hopefully. It's supposed to be.
See.
I've heard good things about the game, so if it's bad, it's JJ's fault. He made me buy it.
Yes, that's true. So, but if you can, please go watch those videos and share them with your friends. We do want to get the shows out to more people.
Yeah, go subscribe to our channel. That helps a ton. And go like the video. That also helps the video show up in people's searches when they're looking for our videos as well. And that's what we want, is new people to find it.
Definitely. And it's also something you can give to your small children, hand them the phone with YouTube, and let them watch our stuff. And it's horror games, but it's us playing, so you know it's safe and totally not super scary, because we're there. And he only drops the occasional F-bomb when we're doing podcasts and
Once
stuff.
in a while. Once in a very great while.
He drops it like it's hot. Very rarely.
Only when it's like absolutely necessary. Like it's like, oh, this feels like a good time. Like it would be awkward if someone didn't say it.
Yeah, it's like a punctuation mark with him. He kind of just uses it for emphasis. That's all.
Yeah, cool. Well, what do you say we get into the Nerdy Newds?
It's now time for the Nerdy Newds.
Alrighty, first up on the docket this week, kind of a big one. I was stoked for it. A lot of people were just like not super stoked, but I was listening to some other podcasts and on Twitter. Felt like it wasn't a very big deal.
You already announced that Grammy is now supporting us on Patreon, but if you want to go ahead and bring that right up here at the top of the news hour, let's go ahead and get to it again.
Time. Here's our headlining news
Grammy.
story.
Julie Bates Grammy.
No, that's not it, actually.
Wait, there's more than, because that's like a big news item, buddy.
The news story, there's kind of 2 big news stories this week, and they both come from Sony. The first one, Sony cuts PS Now subscription price for PS4 worldwide. So PS Now is Sony's streaming service. They've had it a long time, but they're just really bad at advertising it. It actually has way more games than Game Pass, and they even implemented the function to be able to download games as well, like PS4 games, similar to Game Pass. But obviously people don't talk about it. People just rave about how awesome Game Pass is, and they never touch PS Now because PlayStation sucks at advertising and letting people know that they've done these cool, new, awesome things. Well, they finally did another cool, awesome thing, because previously the price was about $20 a month, which is insane. So now it is going to be, I'm looking here, I want to confirm I have this all 100% correct for you. PlayStation Now, Sony's game streaming service for PS4 and PC. This is another key part of the story. You don't have to have a PS4 to get PS Now. So that'll come in a couple minutes here. It's now available at a permanent lower price. The company has announced monthly subscriptions are now available for $10 a month, which is a considerable reduction from the previous $20 a month. Quarterly subscriptions are now $25 a month, previously $45, and a year subscription is down to $60 a month, where it was previously $100 for a whole year. Now it's down to $60. So it's basically the same price as like a PlayStation Plus subscription. The new price points are active right now. Existing customers will see the cost reflected in their upcoming bill. The price cut applies worldwide. So here's the coolest part about this is they are starting to implement now. Essentially, they're going to be putting like big, heavy hitter exclusive games and stuff on there. Not all exclusives, but like kind of heavy hitters that are known for PlayStation, kind of like being big on PlayStation.
Yeah, they're going to start to actually emphasize PS Now for the first time, which is fantastic.
I mean, even with the games they're putting on, they're not just the service, but also, so what they're going to do is starting as of when this news story came out until January 2nd of 2020, you will be able to play God of War, which is like one, if not the best PlayStation exclusive game that's come out on PS4. Infamous Second Son, which was also a PlayStation exclusive. I had a blast with it. It's not the best, but it was a really fun game. Grand Theft Auto 5, which isn't as an exclusive, but again, it has such a huge player base on PlayStation 4. I think I said PlayStation 5 a second ago. I meant to say PlayStation 4.
We know where your mind's at.
And also Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, which is a PlayStation 4 exclusive and is an incredible game, especially if you've never played the Uncharted series. So
one of my favorite games I've ever played. So just those handful of games right now, just those, it's worth it for the service.
Yeah, so for $10 a month, you can play over, I think I heard, the last number I heard is it was over 800 games on the streaming service. And then I think there's like over 100 PS4 games that you can download onto your system and play without streaming. So if you're worried about having bad internet stuff, you can, most of the PS4 games you can download and install on your system. And on top of that, if you don't have a PS4, so say you wanted to play God of War, the greatest video game ever to come out in the past, ever. Like I would honestly say, other than Metal Gear Solid, like God of War is like up there with one of the best games.
Other than Red Dead 2 being better than all of those games. But go ahead, what were you saying?
No, that's not true. But yeah, if you have a PC, you can play these awesome PlayStation games that you've never had access to before for $10. You can pay $10 for 1 month. And I mean, I think they even have free trials for 7 days. So if you can beat God of War in a week, you could play God of War for free on your PC. All you need is, you still need a DualShock 4 controller. So if you don't have one of those, you can either borrow it from a friend, or you can get them on Amazon for $40, $45 sometimes on sale. And you just plug it into the USB and you're good to go. So I don't know. I was so excited when I saw this, because I'm really excited about the whole cloud streaming future of video games. But to know that this system I already have, and there's a lot of good classic games on there too. They have you're just gonna laugh at me, but they have Metal Gear Solid 2, 3, and 4 all on the streaming services, which before Metal Gear 2 and 3 were on PS2, and then Metal Gear 4 is only available if you have a PS3. Through PlayStation Now, you can play all 3 of those.
Okay, so for that very reason, Garrett's getting that service.
I'm definitely getting PlayStation Now because of that. That's so insane.
Which is cool, because I think it was maybe 4 to 6 months ago, Garrett, that you and I were talking about it, and you picked up the PS Now on a temporary free basis to check it out. And what were your thoughts at the time? There was a lot more games than you thought that there were.
Yeah, that was the thing. What I said a little bit ago is I anticipated there to be I don't know, maybe 100 games, if that. I was thinking maybe even under 100. It ended up being, like I said, right in the advertisement, as soon as I clicked, okay, let's do this free trial, it's welcome to the library. There's over 800. There's 800 plus games. I'm what the heck?
That's
that span the whole, ecosystem of PlayStation 2, all the big hits from there. PlayStation 3, a ton of awesome games from PS3 era, that I totally forgot about. I'm I forgot that's such a good game. And then, more recently, they are adding those PlayStation 4 games, and the PlayStation 4 has the ability, like I said, download and install on your console. So this is a must pick up for me. I know people were hating on it because it's not Game Pass and it's not as good as Game Pass and the streaming isn't as good, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know, for my rich background, or with my background with Sony going, it just goes back so far and is so full of that, a lot of the Xbox games that are on Game Pass, I'm not as nostalgic for as I am for these Sony games that I look back and I'm I remember playing that PS2 game that no one else has ever heard of, but it's on PlayStation Now to play.
Yeah, and I think on the Xbox, their Game Pass only has a couple hundred games to play at any time.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact number, but
it's far less.
It's far less than PlayStation Now,
than what PlayStation
if I remember
Now has,
correctly.
Yeah. So I'm excited about trying it ourselves. I mean, there's a lot of games. One of the things I was mostly concerned about when I first looked into it was the streaming. I just don't have the greatest bandwidth at my house. My speeds are not good.
So playing PS2 and PS3, it might struggle a little tiny bit because I don't think you need very high speeds either. They've been getting better and better. And with the deal they made earlier with Microsoft, remember earlier in the year, they're teaming up with Microsoft to use the Azure servers that Microsoft developed for Game Pass. So even if it doesn't work great now, I imagine by next year it'll be looking pretty slick.
I like that PlayStation finally said in going into bed with Xbox for that, whereas you're just basically saying they've already built the perfect sprocket. There's no reason for us to try to build another sprocket. So I love that they're going to be using it because Azure is awesome. Xbox is a really smart company, Microsoft.
They just have the infrastructure. I mean, they've been around for so long, and that's been their deal, is like building servers and just building that infrastructure around the entire world. Like, they've been doing it for decades now. So why wouldn't Sony just tap into what's already there instead of paying billions and dollars to try to build their own and catch up?
And that's what
why not just tap into something that's already there? And especially since they already have they're already so far ahead in so many ways, by just using one of Xbox's thing, that just like puts them ahead of the game now, I feel
and that's why I put my caboose onto your caboose, and like I just tied myself to you, Garrett, because I figured if I'm going to go anywhere, I just stick with the smart guy and just roll with it. And it's been a roller coaster ever since, dude. So I'm kind of like PlayStation in that, like, I'm very original and there's a lot of awesome content. And then like I hooked up to the smarty pants over here and just pretty much let him drive the caboose.
I'm kind of offended you're trying to compare me to Xbox, but okay.
Well, no, just because your sticks are in the wrong position, and but you're great at first person shooters. There's some positives to that.
Okay. What do you say we get into this next?
Why don't we stop hating on Xbox? All of our fans that love Xbox are going to start hating on us. Yeah.
I mean,
it goes without saying. Yeah.
Hey, if someone wants to send me if someone wants to change my mind, send me an Xbox along with that Captain At, and maybe I'll jump aboard the
Grammy,
Xbox.
if you want to what? I'm just saying, an Xbox One X. No.
More so now than before. Now that she's our sponsor, you really can't ask her for things. Like, she's already like supporting us monthly. Like, I feel like that's like, that's way overreaching your bounds.
Why don't you believe that me petitioning Grammy for all of that, home bacon, all of that, like she's like knits sweaters and bakes cookies, and she's not one of those kind of grandmas?
I mean, she cooks some mean food. I don't know. I don't think she really knits or crochets or anything, but she's good at cooking. She makes amazing cookies.
I bet I could show up with some pants and get her to hem them. I bet I could make that happen.
I'm not saying she doesn't. I'm just saying, like, I don't have a blanket made by her, I don't think.
Oh,
right?
Grammy,
if I do, I'm sorry, Grandma. I totally forgot.
No. Bad Grammy.
I'm not saying it.
No blanket?
That's not a bad thing. I'm just saying she's she's good at the cooking side.
Now we know what's wrong with Garrett. He never got a Grammy blanket.
I appreciate
makes so much sense.
The cookies and the cooking way more than I would a blanket, I think.
You sound kind of facetious right now, Grammy. I don't know. There might be some counseling or therapy that has to take place.
I don't like that you're turning on my grandma. I kind of want to.
I'm not turning on your grandma.
I might kick you off the podcast if you turn on my grandma like this.
Don't put me. I love Grammy.
Apparently not. All right, what do you say we get into this next news story before I fire you off the podcast?
I really don't want to get fired on air.
So PlayStation 4 Cross-play exits its beta stage, finally available for developers. So there's a few months back, again, it was probably earlier in the year, I think, where Sony came out and said, hey, we heard all you guys whine and complain enough. We are going to let just a select few games do a cross-play beta. It's going to be in beta. It's going to be testing, and we'll see how it goes and, move from there. So they let Fortnite. They were cross-play. I know Rocket League was another game that was cross-play. I think Dauntless was. I can't think of any more. There wasn't very many. Just a handful. Apparently it went well because this news came out saying, hey, it's officially out of beta, and now all developers are able to use this technology now. Like, they're able to implement this into their games and make any and all games cross-platform, which it's one of those things where it just kind of seemed inevitable that this was coming.
Yeah.
Not only because they already had the beta, it's kind of like, okay, if you're willing to put enough effort to put it into a beta stage, you're probably willing to go at least the rest of the way to get it across the finish line, even if they don't, work any harder on it. But, we also had another signal as we had Call of Duty Modern Warfare coming at the end of this month, which since they've announced it back in the spring, they've been, heralding how it's going to be the first AAA game with crossplay in it. So it's kind of like, it was inevitable. I felt like they have to announce something Because if Activision is big enough, they could come in and just be like, we're going to do crossplay. Sorry, all you little small, like you little guys, like screw you guys. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm just excited for now that this is official. It's out there. What all these, the games that come now after this, what's it going to be like? I'm just excited to be able to play with some of my buddies and stuff.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this. This means that the walls are coming down, man, and we've been talking about this for months. The idea of it is just tremendous because now you're able to play with your buddies who unfortunately made the mistake of getting Xboxes. So. Oh, wait, no, that sounded bad, didn't it? No, what I'm saying, let me reiterate.
Truth hurts.
Yeah, it does. It kind of does. No, it's just that we have a lot of friends that play Xbox. We don't play Xbox, but that's one of those sad things where they want to play. Hey, man, I'd love to play Red Dead Online with you. And, I can't because we don't have cross-platform. Now that's going to change. That's awesome.
At least with new games. That's the thing. I don't know how quickly they'll actually start doing that with older games. I don't who knows? Maybe with Red Dead Online, I could see them doing it since it's kind of the games as a service. Like they are still releasing content and missions and new character and bounties or whatever they call it. They might, but something like I don't know. Like obviously, something like last year's Call of Duty isn't going to also get crossplay. Like I think it'll be more from here on out. Games will kind of have it. I don't think it'll be a retroactive thing for most titles, but. Even still, I'm excited. Like I think the thing I'm most excited about actually for crossplay will be, which sounds weird because I haven't talked about it in so long, but Apex Legends. I'm stoked for that because I have a lot of friends who played it a lot, and I played it a lot. But I was on my PlayStation, and I had one friend, Sterling, up in Seattle. I was able to hook up with him, and we play online a lot. At least we used to. It's been a long time. But yeah, we played all the time. But then my buddies here who would play on Xbox, they actually kind of fell off the bandwagon with Apex Legends because, they didn't necessarily have they didn't have a full squad. You need 3 people, so it's kind of weird to play online with a random dude on your squad. So I'm excited for something like that to get it. So then it's okay, I can jump on with Sterling and then grab one of my other buddies from here. Or I can jump on with my 2 buddies here who want to play Apex and stuff like that.
Does that mean I'll finally make the cut? Because I'm your buddy, and I'm right here.
As soon as you can figure out how to get control of your own PlayStation, I'll play with you.
I can, because the kids do have to go to bed at some point. So the way that we've got it worked out is when they're asleep, that's when I can go and play. Okay. And so we're talking they've been going to bed really late lately. So after 10. But before midnight.
That's when I go to bed.
I know. You got old guy hours, dude. He eats dinner at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. You're the oldest 25-year-old dude I've ever met in my life.
I like sleep. I haven't been getting enough of it, that's for sure.
Apparently not.
No, as soon as, I always see, JJ Purdum's online, and then it's...
What's he playing?
Always Fortnite. As soon as I see Fortnite, I'm like, oh, it's not JJ. As soon as you see Fortnite,
you know it's not JJ.
It's either your son or your wife. Yeah. I'm like, guess I'm not playing it.
She's pretty good at Fortnite. And the crazy thing is she's actually very good at Fortnite. But the crazy thing is, I asked Lee recently, they've never been able to play together. They always play, one will play, the other one will play back and forth. They've never played against each other. So we were talking about the potential of getting a Switch and then them to be able to cross-play with each other. And so I asked each of them separately, who would win between the two of you, who's better? And so I asked my wife, I said, honey, who's better with you and Lee when you guys play Fortnite together? And she's like, oh, he's so much better. He smashes me horribly. It's embarrassing. And I kind of laughed, thought maybe she's just saying something positive about our son, And then I asked Lee, so Lee, who's better between you and Mom? If you guys were to play one-on-one, who? And he's like, oh, Dad, she's total trash. I'm like, don't, you can't say that about my wife. You can't
say that about your mother.
And he's like, I'm just saying that I would destroy her and she can't even play on the same field. I'm like, oh no, he's and the ego is huge.
Oh no.
That's pretty bad. Yeah. But he is, of course, our resident Fortnite expert. Occasionally he comes in the studio. And so the next time that he gets an opportunity to come in here and be smack dab in the middle, and be on camera for YouTube, he's gonna be telling all of his friends that he's a YouTube star. Like that. That was on a YouTube show. That's gonna happen. Well, it's a podcast first and foremost.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited for the crossplay. It'll be cool. It'll be fun. Finally, those walls coming down, and maybe the console wars will finally come to an end, and Xbox will just accept their PlayStation overlords.
It could happen.
This next one, I just wanted to hit real quick. It's not like any major announcements, but Nintendo is apparently hiring for a new 2D and 3D project. Nintendo's official Twitter account in Japan has tweeted out some new job opportunities for developers out there. The company has made 2 separate posts, one for 2D devs and another for 3D devs. As you can see, both adverts feature Mario imagery. Now, that could be related to Mario being the mascot for Nintendo, or it could be a tease of things to come. I think either way you'd be right, because of course new Mario games are coming. This is an article from GoNintendo.com by the Raw Meat Cowboy. It was weird that like this news story wasn't picked up by any like IGN or GameSpot or anything, but I did check it out. It is legit.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and let's break into this real quick. I know you don't want to talk about this long, but I think it needs to be said. So I don't know if the job is going on over in Japan.
Yeah, it'll be in Japan.
Okay. I speak fluent Japanese. And so here's the deal. What? So here's the deal. I'm down. I got you. If you need somebody to come in and make 2D stuff for Nintendo and pay me a lot of money to do that, dude, look, there is no one more professional than me. You want a job done right, and I'm your man. So Nintendo, whomever I'm speaking with at Nintendo who's listening to our show right now, please reach out to me and feel free to pick up my resume. You can pick it up. Garrett will type it up for me, and probably he'll have to write it as well. You can go to supergamerboys.com/JJ's resume. Make that work.
I will.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
I'll put something together for you.
I appreciate it. That's what we're friends for, man. I'll remember you when I get up to the top of Nintendo.
Sounds good. As long as you send me free games.
You know I will. Nah.
So yeah, I don't know. That just got me excited because I always like a new Mario game. We
Absolutely.
got. I mean, it's been a couple years now since we got a 3D Mario game. Mario Odyssey came out the first year the Switch was out, so we're due, I'd say, in the next year or two for another 3D Mario.
Have you played Odyssey?
That's literally what I just said. Yeah.
No, I didn't hear if you played it. I heard you said it's been a while since it came out.
Yeah, of course I played it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a fake video gamer. I'm a real video gamer.
Well, I don't want to argue on the show.
So a lot of you people out there, let's just get one thing straight, okay?
Okay. Here we go.
We're going to have a conversation with Uncle Garrett here. Okay?
Oh, the captain. Uncle Captain Garrett. Go ahead, Cappy.
I'm just stacking up the nicknames on this episode, okay? So a lot of you people out there, mostly JJ, call me a fake gamer because I don't finish games.
Okay, I've said it maybe once, twice.
Are you going to call like every person who like, okay, who
doesn't finish a game?
Yeah, fake. Okay, so I listen to a lot of podcasts about the people who review video games even, and they don't always finish the games that they review. Like there's people or maybe they don't review them, but maybe they do like big news stories and stuff. Like the only people who really like fully beat games a lot of times in at least the video game industry is if you work on like a wiki page where you're the one like writing up the walkthroughs or strategy guides and stuff. So I'm not that abnormal. Like big names in the game industry don't beat video games.
Okay. I'm
wearing a kind of funny shirt right now. Greg Miller.
He doesn't finish video games either?
He talked about the other day on the podcast where like maybe he'll finish 1, maybe 2 games a year.
Wow.
And he plays like hundreds of them. Wow. Obviously I'm not playing hundreds, but we between the two of us, we do play a lot of games.
Play a lot of games, yeah.
Because we want to talk about them on the episode. Yeah. So I just want to clear the air here.
Yeah, no, I use the term fake gamer.
You can keep calling me fake gamer.
Oh, I'm gonna. I'm not gonna stop. I mean,
I just want to clarify. I'm not the only one who doesn't finish games because it's not that I just get bored of them.
Oh, no,
I also only have so much time in the day. especially when I have to edit videos and do a lot of other stuff for the podcast that some people aren't
I don't
able
have to do. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense when you say it like that. You lay it all out like that, and I can kind of understand your point of view, and I kind of feel sorry for you
I just
now.
had to get that off my chest because I've been getting a lot of hate. Someone else was talking to me like fake gamer.
Because JJ says that. Oh no. Okay. All right.
It's gone too far now.
I didn't mean to start that up, Captain. I'm sorry.
Uncle
Captain Garrett.
Alrighty. We're cool now.
Okay, good. Thank God. All right. I just didn't want you to fire me from the show. Now, I know that there's a long list of people that, and after having Zetch in here in the studio not long ago and doing a podcast, I could see that I could be easily gotten rid of.
Just like that.
Yeah.
No questions. This last one is also another quick one. Because we haven't played the game. It just came out Friday. But Ubisoft removes some microtransactions from Ghost Recon Breakpoint. This comes from IGN. Adam Bankhurst over there wrote this one up. So ahead of Ghost Recon Breakpoint's launch on October 4th, Ubisoft has addressed its philosophy towards microtransactions and why it chose to remove some time savers items. It's not actually in quotes in the article, but it's actually capitalized, which is a weird thing because that's not a proper noun. Like, it shouldn't be capitalized, but it is, which makes me think that's like a Ubisoft PR thing. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was more appropriate to put quotes around it.
Yeah.
Because that kind of gets the actual feeling of
okay, so I'm not a doctor. Yeah, it's like something like that, right?
But they chose to remove some time savers items that weren't supposed to be available quite yet. So as reported by usgamer.net, Ubisoft took its forums to discuss in-game purchasable content and how it aimed to offer a fair and rewarding experience to our players. However, they want to experience our game in solo, co-op, PvE, or PvP. So essentially, when a lot of people were doing the beta, and then I think even during like the launch of the game, like the first week, like so reviewers who got it early, and then people who got it opening day and stuff, noticed that on the store for a few hours there was these microtransactions called time savers, where essentially you could pay for these things and it would help you level up quicker. Essentially, it's pay to win microtransactions. Like, you can get ahead of the game, get ahead of everyone else if you're willing to pay the extra bucks, get better, and then win the game. Like, whatever. Obviously, if you're playing co-op, it doesn't matter. But if you're playing PvP, like, that makes a difference. They came back out and said, like I read there, they had not meant to release those yet. It says, we are aware that during the early access of Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint on October 1st, some time savers items, this is parentheses, skill point bundles, XP boosters, parts bundles for advanced weapon upgrades, were available for purchase for a few hours in our store, but this was not our intention and it was an error on our behalf. These items were designed as an optional way for players arriving late to the game post-launch to catch up with those who have been playing for longer and enjoy our co-op and challenging endgame experiences. These time savers have since been removed from our store for now. So obviously they are very, very hard. They are trying to spin this as if these microtransactions are good. We are here to help the players. So say JJ's been playing for a year and then I jump in, I want to catch up to him. I can pay $20 and get up to the point where he is. That way I can actually play some of the end game content with him. But
this is a fantasy world, by the way, folks, so that would never happen.
Never happen.
No. But
no matter how hard they try to spin it,
no,
that still feels so filthy and dirty.
It is, and that it's so obvious when they come out with it, and then right away pull back and say, no, there's a point to us having this content, and it's for the future, and it's still good quality content that you guys should pay money for in the future.
Yeah.
But it wasn't meant to go out right now. We're pulling it back out of the stores post haste. It just feels like they're trying to cover up their tracks. It just feels like, hey, we kind of made a lot of people upset right now, and we probably need to dial that back a little bit. But it'll be brought out again in the future, I'm sure, whether it's 6 months from now or a year from now.
Yeah, it just feels so dirty because it's like, I mean, there's already been a lot of complaints that there's apparently a lot of microtransactions in the new Ghost Recon game. But then on top of that, to have these ones that are pay to win, whether they come out now or come out a year from now, like it's if they did come out now, it'd be even more egregious. But even a year or 6 months or a year from now, it still just feels like so wrong. Like, play the game. Like, if you paid $60 for it, why not put the time into it? Like, I don't know. Like, that's the point of it. Like, if you beat the game quicker because you paid extra money, so you pay $60 for the game, it's like, oh, I want to get less entertainment time out of this, so I'm going to pay another like $25 or something. It's like, what's the point of that? I don't understand. Like, yeah, you catch up with your buddies, but you miss out on so much other fun stuff that they spent time putting in the game. So, oh boy, I'm looking at the Metacritic here. So the critics, out of 23 reviews, it has a 58, which is really bad. And the user score out of 10 as a 2.6.
Wow.
So basically, it sounds
now this isn't all based
unplayable.
This isn't all based on just the microtransactions, right? I mean, this is on gameplay, on their feelings of the game overall.
Yeah, this is a game
That's
overall.
too bad because the game actually looks amazing.
No, the graphics and everything, like there's a lot to it. I'm like, this looks really, really great. And I even enjoyed my little time that I had with the beta. I did some beta, the open beta that they did a few weeks ago. I think it was like a month or so ago. But yeah, was not. I've not heard great things about. I was just looking at some of these reviews to see who reviewed it. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of sad because it was definitely a game we were looking forward to. And then when I heard about some of those microtransactions, heard about some bad early reviews that were coming out like before the game, because I even thought about it, I'm like, is that something we should pre-order or pick up day of? And some early reviews came out. I'm like, no, this is not good. I'm hearing too many bad things about microtransactions and too many bad things about.
Hearing too many bad things about sometimes can soil a game that can possibly be good and fun. But I'll tell you that we had the unfortunate thing that all the Days Gone material we were getting back was that Days Gone was really crappy. And then I got an opportunity to play some of it, and it really isn't good. It felt like it was unfinished.
Yeah. I mean, and at launch, too, there were so many issues which they've patched out. So now if you play it, it's a completely different game than when it first came out. So I couldn't imagine playing it that opening week and having glitches so bad you're like losing saves or like zombies just pop out of nowhere. Like that would have been so frustrating. So just if you're making a game, just take your time and make it good, please. Like, and don't put garbage in there just to make extra money. Like,
and that's why we look forward to February 21st, because Last of Us 2's coming out, and that looks great.
Screw that.
They put years into it. Oh, you're talking about.
Before that, there's Death Stranding. Death Stranding comes out November 8th. We're shills
for these large PS4 companies, right?
We are a month away. When you listen to this, it'll be less than a month.
That's amazing.
From Death Stranding. I might have to call in sick that day to work. I'm not even joking. I'm totally down to do like an all-day stream where I just wake up in the morning and just play it all day. I would quit. I wouldn't quit. Don't listen to this, John. You didn't hear that.
Yeah. You might want to edit that part out. So you know what? We're done with the news, right?
I was going to get into some new releases.
I feel kind of bad before you get into that. You know, in getting into this new venture in how we do our podcast, doing it visually, neither of us asked each other like how you doing, how this week was. So I feel like the people don't get a glimpse behind the curtain for how your week was, Garrett. How was your week?
It was fine.
Did you do anything special? Anything nice?
No.
You have any memorable moments that you want to share with the listening and now viewing audience?
Nothing.
So Garrett and I were doing Man of the Medan, right? We
Not
played
what it's called, but
Man of Medan, whatever. We were playing through in order to this Thursday. We were talking about it earlier, the YouTube. Oh yeah, he's covering his face because of the shame and the utter embarrassment of what he ate during the podcast / viewing video party. So Garrett was the unfortunate recipient of an SPD, a silent but deadly, that released into the atmosphere in this very room. And unfortunately, Garrett didn't move fast enough. And unfortunately, breathed in very deeply at the wrong moment and then almost threw up from smelling my fart. Now, that's right. I just said that on the air, folks. That happened here in the studio, and we could not put that on the air, but it was the funniest moment of my entire life as Garrett choked and jumped up and ran like he was going to throw up. Yeah, Garrett ate it like a juicy cheeseburger, and I just wanted to share that. And I hope to God that he doesn't try to edit this out because it was a beautiful moment. It was beautiful. It was one of the 5 greatest moments in my life. I have kids, 3 of them. Marriage, 4. Garrett eating my fart, 5.
You ready to move on now?
Yeah, we can get into the new releases if you'd like.
Okay. Let's get into something more pertinent than...
No, that was pretty pertinent.
What if I suffer from PTSD from that and you're just bringing back all these memories?
Grow up, get over it, man up. Put your big girl panties on.
I'm suffering here, JJ. I almost died that night. I almost died. And you're just you think it's the greatest, funniest thing.
The funniest thing that ever happened to anyone in the history of man.
Not true.
It was pretty amazing.
Not
all right,
true.
So new releases, other than the thing I released on Garrett and his poor little psyche right here in the studio.
Yeah. Okay, so this last week, on last week's episode, I didn't mention any October releases because I couldn't find the list in time, and I was a dummy. So I'm going to read some from October 1st and 2nd, which was obviously during last week's episode. But
I'm getting confused about all the cross-play we're talking about here.
So we have had some new releases here. Call of Duty Mobile for iOS and Android, so you can now play Call of Duty multiplayer on your phones. I've not tried it yet, but I've seen a lot of advertisements on all the YouTube videos I watch. I keep trying to watch YouTube, and every time an ad pops up, it's free. Call of Duty Mobile.
Is the Call of Duty Mobile made specifically for mobile phones, or is it one of the other games that's been...
Think about what you just said. It's called Call of Duty Mobile.
Okay, look.
What does that tell you?
Okay, look. I'm really pretty. I'm not very smart. What I mean is, did they just take an old Call of Duty game and then transform it into a mobile game? Or is it a completely new game that was made just for mobile?
It's a new game, just for mobile.
Okay. All right.
They took all the old multiplayer modes and maps from old games. Like some of the trailers I watch, I'm like, oh, it's Nuketown. Oh, that's this, that's that. So it's all old maps from other games, just put into one game for people to play some multiplayer on.
Makes sense. I would never play it, but okay.
I might try it once, but I don't have the time for something like that. Destiny 2 Shadowkeep, I forgot to announce that. That's the expansion for Destiny 2, and Destiny 2 went free to play last week. So you can't play the expansions for free. They still cost money. They're $20-$25 or something, I think. But Destiny 2, the base game, if you've never played it before, it's free to play now because after Bungie left Activision, they are now doing their own thing. So that's kind of cool. So if you never played it, it's a fun game. And even the base game without the expansions, I don't have any expansions. Even some of the post game stuff is a lot of fun too. So jump in there, check it out, free to play. NeoCab came out on Switch, PC, and iOS. Ghost Recon Breakpoint came out, PS4, Xbox One, Stadia, PC. Some of these say Stadia on it, even though Stadia isn't out yet. I guess you can expect that in November when Stadia does come out. Let's see. Concrete Genie came out on PSVR and PlayStation 4 October 8th. Indivisible came out, PS4, Xbox One, PC. John Wick Hex. It's a PC and Mac game. I think it's eventually going to come to mobile, I heard, but right now it's just for PC and Mac. Comes out October 8th. That actually looks pretty cool. It's kind of like a puzzle game. Imagine like a board game, like a board game board with a bunch of little hex shapes on it, and then you have this your little John Wick character, and I think it almost plays like that, like a board game, but it's you go through these different missions trying to kill everyone, and then at the end of the mission, if I remember thinking of the correct game, then it shows the whole thing in real time. So it's almost like slow motion playing through this board game. And then when you're done, killing off everyone in the room, similar to the movie, then it plays a whole action sequence in real time. So it's bang, 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 boom, bang, bang, and everyone's dead.
Okay, I've never seen any of those.
If that's the right game, if I'm totally off base, I've still heard it's a good game. So it's still probably worth checking out. But I can't remember now off the top of my head. Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair came out on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. And that's it, I think. Sorry, I'm having a hard time. My calendar's not popping up. Yeah. Cool. Well, that's some new releases. What do you say we get into some discussion about what you've been playing?
All right.
Have you been playing anything? Or?
As a matter of fact, I have. Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. For the first time in a while, I was able to actually play some games. So what I did was I got to play a little bit of Last of Us, the original. I'd had a friend of mine and I had started playing. We talked about it on the show. He had never played it before, so I decided to go back through Last of Us. I figured why not go through it as we're on the precipice of part 2 coming out. I'm so excited about it. So what better way than to go and play this amazing game that I think it just also came out on PS Plus this week.
Yeah, so PlayStation Plus free games are Last of Us Remastered.
And there's like MLB.
And MLB The Show 2019.
Yeah.
And while you're talking, I'm going to look up the games for gold.
Of course. So the great thing about it is the fact that Last of Us is such a beautiful game. Even though it came out in 2013, it still stands out as one of the best games of all time. That's of course, that's opinion, but I love the game.
It's an incredible game.
And playing through it again is still so much fun. And it's like unbelievable the story that's being told in that game. So I look forward to part 2 coming out. I'm enjoying it, just doing it again and just having fun. And surprisingly, it's still hard as heck. Like I get to areas that I've passed before and I just struggle. And I'm like, I know I beat this before because I've beaten the game. But why can't I get past this horde of zombies? And that kind of stuff happens. Or clickers, they call them.
You just got to turn the difficulty down. Put on easy. Especially since you've played it before, you've already experienced the difficulty just to get through the story.
I'm always rocking down easy.
Oh, really? It's still
I am.
okay.
Yeah. Well, because I'm. The reason is because he's there and he doesn't have a whole lot of gameplay. So I'm trying to make it like, okay, let's make it a little easier, a little more digestible for him. So I put it on easy, and I'm playing with the hard stuff and going, this sucks. It's hard. It just is. But it's a wonderful game, and I love it, and I can't wait to finish it again and then move right on into part 2 in February.
Yeah, I'm excited for part 2. And I've even talked to you about doing a full playthrough of the first one again, maybe even live streaming it or something. That might be cool. Because it's been a while. I haven't played it since launch when it came out in 2013, you said?
Yeah.
So I'd love to play through it again. Just, pop it on easy and fly through it just for the story because the story's so good.
Watch you not fly through it. That's not a fake gamer slam. That's it's harder than you think, even on easy.
I bet I can beat it pretty quick. I'm a pretty good gamer. I may be fake, but I'm pretty great at it.
Pretty fake at being great. Wait
great
at being... That doesn't make it.
So I found the games with gold. So back to new releases. Free games with gold this month, October 2019. Tempo, the Badass Elephant, October 1st through 31st on Xbox One. Friday the 13th, the game, October 16th through November 15th. That's a fun one. I really enjoyed Friday the 13th, the game. I think that's a multiplayer one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a fun game.
I really enjoyed that. It's janky as heck, but it's a lot of fun. Disney's Bolt.
Okay.
Fantastic Disney licensed game from the 360 era.
It's a platformer, isn't it?
I don't know. I didn't play it. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Came out probably back in the...
Wink, wink. I didn't play it, he says.
Ninja Gaiden 3, Razor's Edge, October 16th to the 31st. It's Xbox One and Xbox 360 as well.
Okay, how did you pronounce it right now? Ninja Gaiden?
Yeah.
Okay, when we were kids, we really struggled with that game. It was Ninja Gaiden, Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't know how to pronounce it.
It's Ninja Gaiden.
I've heard it both Gaiden and Gaiden.
It's Gaiden.
Okay.
Yeah, but I thought it was Gaiden when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I loved that game.
I have never played a Ninja Gaiden game.
The original is extremely difficult.
Yeah, I've heard that, and I've seen gameplay of it, but I've never played it personally.
It's like impossible. But it's so much fun. And yeah, you would just play all night long with your friends. Well, if you had any. That's exactly what you would do, or your cousins, I guess you would call them. You would play... I'm sorry.
Man...
I know I'm being vicious.
You just hate on my family so much.
No, I love Grammy. I love your smoking mom. like the one talks like this, Miss Morley. Your
My
dad,
smoker mom, you
your
mean,
smoker.
not smoking mom.
Well, she's smoking too. And then Bill, of course, TT Fly caught him and he got hepatitis or something.
What?
Over in Africa. What was it? You said he had hepatitis from the...
Not malaria.
Oh, that's it. Malaria.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Papua New Guinea.
Same.
Okay. Well, I played. Are you done? Are you finished? Can I talk about what I played?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other family members that I know.
Yeah. Okay. So I got to play more mobile games.
That's what your life has become, Garrett? That you're just playing mobile games all the time?
So there's this new game. It's on Apple Arcade.
Oh, the Apple Arcade that you love so much.
And it is called Mini Motorways. And dude, it is so much stinking fun. Essentially, you're dropped into this map and you get to pick. There's different cities, just like LA, Tokyo. I can't think of any more. There's only two I've played. So Beijing was one. I've only played Tokyo and LA though. And the map is designed to look like that, where so like for LA, it has like a little peninsula that comes out and everything, and similar land masses to those areas. And then randomly what will pop up is these, I think they're supposed to be like warehouses. I don't know what they're supposed to be. They look like warehouses. A little warehouse will pop up, and then like a little home will pop up, like a person's house. And you have to connect it with a road. So you click and drag to wherever the building is. Okay, they're connected. And then when a little pin pops up above the warehouse, that means some product is ready. So the car leaves the house, goes and picks up the product, goes back. Well, as the game goes on, more warehouses pop up, more little tiny houses pop up, and you have to like basically it's like civil engineer simulator kind of thing, where you have to like design these roadways that are efficient, make sense. You have to keep
Garrett
traffic
plays
jams.
the most intriguing games, folks.
You have to keep traffic jams from like causing traffic jams and stuff. So you have to put in like traffic lights. Oh, maybe I need to put a highway from here to over here so people can get there quicker, not have to go through town. It's really cool.
He's going to be playing a game soon on mobile called Indoor Plumbing. Indoor Plumbing, brought to you by the great people at Games. Seriously? You talk about the most boring game.
No. Mini Motorways, the art style is really like simple and cool. I actually like, it's like aesthetically pleasing to look at. And then also...
so it's like me.
But it's like great to look at, and it's just so relaxing. Like I'll sit there while we're watching TV or a movie or something. I'm just like doing it. It's so easy to do like passively. It's been such a relaxing game, especially with like everything else going on in life. I can just like sit there and, connect some buildings and make some roadways and not have to worry about like anything.
That's pretty cool.
For a couple minutes.
That's pretty cool. I just like to tease you and stuff. But yeah, I'm interested to get into the Apple Arcade because from what you were talking to me about last week, it sounds like there's a lot of really fun games on there.
Yeah, no, there's a ton of stuff. Yeah, I mean, last week I talked about some. I know I was playing Assemble was one, has a really cool story to it. It's definitely more storytelling than like action-oriented. What the Golf is hilarious. It's like a golf game, but like not at all. It's really funny. I think you'd actually find the humor entertaining.
Is it real like 10-year-old potty humor or something?
No, it's just really random, irreverent. It's kind of like, what the heck is going on?
I'm pretty much random and irreverent.
Yeah. Exit the Gungeon, Grindstone, Oceanhorn 2, like all these games. And what's cool is like all these games, or most of these games, Mini Motorways, I don't think you can, but most of these games you can play like with your PS4 controller or your Xbox One controller.
And they typically feel like quality games, right? They're not feeling like chintzy. Because I know you let me play one of them and it felt pretty darn good quality.
The graphics are all insane, especially like for Oceanhorn. Like you saw and you're like, dude, this looks like I'm playing a PS4 game.
It did. Yeah, it was amazing.
And none of the games have microtransactions. None of them have ads or anything like normal phone games have. And they are total quality. Like they're top notch. They're not putting junk on Apple Arcade yet. Like, they're doing a good job curating, putting just good stuff on there so far.
I hate to ever say anything negative about mobile games because there is a handful of mobile games that I absolutely love that I play constantly actually, and I never talk about it on the show, but there's Temple Run 2. There is.
I was so addicted to that game back in the day when it first came out.
So much fun. It's such a fun game, and you got to be on your toes getting it done.
I had that back in the day because it came out. That was like an early 2010s game, maybe even earlier, because I remember having it on my iPod Touch. So before I even had an iPhone, and like iPhones were still in like the first and second generation, I had it like on my iPod Touch. I love that game so much.
Yeah, we also love to play Subway Surfers. That's another fun game. And then the one that has just taken over like a storm in my house is Dr. Mario World. Funny enough, Emma, my youngest, is 4, and she has fallen in love with Dr. Mario World. And
That's awesome.
I'm telling you, honest to God, this is the thing that keeps her happy when nothing else will. When she's really flipped out, doesn't want to like relax, is having temper tantrums and stuff like that. What do you want? And that's what she wants. She wants Dr. Mario World. I don't know why she loves that game so much. It's fun. It's a great game.
Yeah.
And you know what? She's better at it than all of us in the house. And my wife is really good at Dr. Mario. But Emma, my baby, is better at that game than all of us for some reason.
That's awesome.
She's a ninja.
Teaching some good puzzle problem solving skills.
And that's
there.
what I love about it and why I'm okay with her playing it. Because originally I was like, she's 4. I really don't want her to play video games. She can't really understand them anyway. But there's something that's teaching her how to think around the corner and think outside of the box. So that's one thing that can always be said about video games is kids learning how to learn from their mistakes and get further in a game by thinking around corners and thinking around and solving problems. So, yeah.
The other thing I've been playing is Apex Legends. I jumped on this week to play Season 3, which just started this last week as well. It's a lot of fun. For the first time ever, it's a brand new map now, because the first 2 seasons, it was the same map. So they finally put out a new map, like totally new. Like it's not just a reskin. Like Fortnite will like, kind of reskin different areas and like change it up. Completely new from the ground up. And they added a new character named, I should know this.
Hideo Kojima.
No, definitely not.
If it was, he would pick it all the time.
Yeah, no, I totally would. Put Snake in there. There we go. His name is Crypto, but he's a really cool character. He has like a drone that you can like throw out, and you can fly the drone around and like find enemies and stuff. You can find tag and ping different loot crates and stuff, and you can use the EMP attack, which like kind of stuns people, does a little damage, and it was. I'm trying to think of what happened in Season 3. They have the new battle pass and everything, but it was a blast to jump back into because it had been a long time since I played. I had an argument with my buddy Sterling I was playing with. I was like, it hasn't been that long, and I never bought that battle pass. Like there's only been a couple seasons or blah blah blah, and finally he's just like, no dude, like you played Season 2 for like a week and then bailed. I'm like, oh okay. Whoops. I totally,
there's some unresolved issues there.
Totally forgot about that. Like things got busy and crazy, and I totally didn't touch it. So did you get the battle pass already, or? Not for the new season. I really want to, because there's some cool stuff, but I'm also like, maybe let's give it, like I'll play for a couple of weeks and actually like get farther into the battle pass and make sure, okay, I'm committed to this a little bit before I pay the money. Because even if I get up to like say level 20 in the battle pass, I get all the free stuff obviously, but then when I pay that money, I get all the backlog, all the previous stuff that I already. So it's not like I need to get it now. I don't care what skin I have on my character. Like at this point, the biggest thing with the battle pass is if you can play far enough into it, you can get enough coins to basically pay for the next one. So then the next one will be free. But that's the problem, is finding time to play enough to do that. But it was a lot of fun. Stop playing all those darn mobile games, Garrett. Right. And then you can... it was a lot of fun though. I highly recommend jumping in. So if you're going to be playing on PS4, particularly at least until they add cross-play, let me know. You can always play with Garrett, with G Money, with the captain, the good captain. You can hook up with Sterling and I, and we just need one more. It would be good to go. And if you guys ever want to play Fortnite with my kid or my wife, you can always go and check me out on PlayStation at Bugslayer for God 007. I forgot that was what the listeners named you. They voted on it. They gave me that name. And you know what? I love it. So it grew on me like a fungus. That's great. I'm now making Bugslayer the thing for everything. So nice. Yeah. Thank you, listeners. Cool. Well, we have kind of a surprise segment here. We were going to do a listener question, But then our boss decided to surprise us today. We're like, hey, you know what? We actually did a filming day today because we're going to start filming some little ads and commercials for social media and that to kind of get our name out there a little more, grab some attention. And we're like, you know what? Let's cut the day early a little bit. We're going to go watch Joker.
It happened. And it happened big time.
So I don't even know how to begin this. So yeah, we're gonna kind of just talk about it a little bit, give our review. Let's not do anything spoiler.
No.
But I definitely want to just talk about impressions for sure, like how we felt about it, because I get right off the bat, there were lots of feelings.
That's all there was in watching this film was feelings, and lots of them. This is definitely not the kind of movie that, like a Marvel movie, where you go into it pumping your fist and jazzed and jacked. You come out of watching this film, or at least I did, and Garrett did too.
The whole theater, the theater was silent afterwards. You
come out of it like you've been through a car wreck. And I don't want that to come across as the film wasn't put together well. There is so much raw emotion that gets pulled out of you through this movie. And Joaquin Phoenix specifically, the story that is told through his body and through his facial reactions to things. And it's unbelievable what happens to this person and the descent that they are forced into through society around them and mental illness. And it's absolutely insane. I'm still overwhelmed by that movie. And I would say, please go watch it. It is one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen in my entire life. I can see why everybody says so artistic, because I was lost in a story that took me on a hell of a ride. Yeah. A ride that was honestly like a roller coaster. And I would look forward to seeing it. I don't know if my wife would want to ever go watch that movie or not. It's not something.
I went home, I was talking to my wife. I'm like, you wouldn't make it through the first 10 or 15 minutes. I don't think she could watch even the first 15 minutes of the movie. It's so, I was texting one of my buddies about it, and I kind of described it to them. I was like, yeah, it's good, but not in a Marvel superhero kind of way. This movie makes you feel uncomfortable, makes you feel sick at times, and then it just leaves you with a lot to chew on and think about later. It's not a big spectacle film. It's very much has a feeling of an indie thought piece that's extremely dark, violent, and depressing. And
it's so deep, and you do not get all of the depth. You don't get that from any of the commercials, the trailers that are out there on this film. There's so many layers to this onion that this movie is. It honestly does take you on a roller coaster of emotions. Having had a mother who had mental illness, seeing mental illness in somebody and just watching them descend and go into this depravity is hard. It's hard to watch. So it's when you watch this film and you have people that you know that have gone through mental illness, it makes you look at it totally differently. It humanizes the Joker. The whole idea was taking this comic book character and saying what happens in a real world, how somebody could become this overbearing character, the Joker. And here's what would happen if it happened in our society, in our world now, in the real world. And it was in the 60s or something.
Yeah, it was kind of designed to take place in the 60s.
But honestly, this is what would happen if Joker was created by us in this time now in the real world. And it's mind-boggling. Yeah. It's an amazing film.
Yeah, that was something else I said. I was just Joaquin Phoenix should win an Oscar for this. His portrayal of this character was incredible. And just the film overall, I said it's perfect and horrifying. That was my feelings leaving afterwards. I guess it was kind of decompressing. That's what I told Trudy when I got home. I'm emotionally exhausted after watching that movie. I was just whew, there's this it's weighty. You don't leave it just pumped yeah, that was a freaking good movie. It was just right. Man, things are effed up in our worlds because the crazy thing is the things that happened in this man's life to bring him to this unfortunately, they aren't out of the ordinary.
No.
Like, these are things that happen to people in our society today and then and now. And so it's like this film is just...
And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who are saying that this movie shouldn't be shown, it shouldn't be viewed because it's glorifying the people who go and kill a lot of people in a movie theater and stuff like that. I don't agree. That's my personal opinion. I don't agree at all. I don't think that this glorifies any of that whatsoever.
Yeah, there wasn't any part in the movie where I felt like it glorified anything. It very much is like, this man is very sick, and the things that happened to him were very horrible. Like, there was like, these aren't things that like, hey, this is cool. Like, it was never like, oh, this looks cool, or this looks neat, this is fun. This is something that is normal or should be done by people. It's like, it very much was a look into this person's life. Like,
you feel sorry, and pity for him and for what he's going through, but you never glorify him or look at him as like some anti-hero. You never look at him like, heck yeah, man, he really gave. That's never a thought in your head when watching this. That's not how this was done.
And just to try to not get spoiler, but to even like, there was a scene where it almost is like he's being glorified, but like in the movie he's being glorified, but as the audience watching a movie, you're like, oh man, like, this is horrible. Like I don't know if you remember the scene I'm talking about. Yeah. It was towards the end, so I don't want to like go too much into detail about it, but it's just like, yeah, like, people are just kind of like, I mean, that's even from reviews that have come out, you've probably heard like, like, obviously he gets a following. That's kind of something that's common in the comic books. Like, we all kind of know that. So it's easy to look at him and be like, like, why is he getting this following from these people? What is going on? And it never once makes it seem like a good thing to be doing that. Or like, so it was such a crazy movie. Like, I'm even still now. We won't
spoil anything, but
I'm even still now trying to like, I don't know, like, I'm still processing the movie, to be completely honest.
Yeah, we won't ruin anything by spoiling it. I don't know if it's necessarily ever gonna. I know we talked about it after, like, is there a potential for a sequel? With Joaquin Phoenix reprising the role as the Joker.
I wouldn't want there to be one.
I feel like this is a standalone, and there shouldn't be. That this movie was so amazing. It's not. I wouldn't want to see it tied into the Batman character. I wouldn't want to see it, even though I know that's where it would inevitably go, because that's what Joker.
If they did, yeah. I feel like if they came out with any sequel for this, because of the message that they had in this movie, and like, very much the goal of this movie, and trying like I said, the message and the theme of it, if they put him then as like a bad guy, and it would take all that meaning away from it. Like, it would take away that purpose. It would take away that heaviness to it. It would be like, oh, okay, that whole movie was for nothing.
Unless they decided to in this new and this is just me thinking outside the box, in this new The Batman that they're coming out with, if they went with let's go with this in a very real direction.
That's the only way, is if they did like a similar thing where they had some,
but it would
social commentary.
It would
message.
honestly, I would say, put that same director and the writers in on the Batman and go in that real direction, which I think can be done. I think there can be that hero that is a real man who uses his wealth to do those things. I think there is a reality to Batman. That's one of the reasons why he's so well loved. Is he's not a superhero. He's not somebody who flies, or who got bit by a radioactive spider, or was dumped into a radioactive vat. Yeah. He's a man who is a genius, and who's a billionaire, and who uses that tech to defend the good in the world.
Yeah.
And so I could see them making that into a realistic film, and God, I would love that. But if it's just a matter of shoehorning Joker and Joaquin Phoenix into future films, into that cartoony, I would hate to see them destroy what they've just done.
Yeah, no, this movie is incredible, but it's also one of those movies I told Trudy too. I was like, I don't ever want to watch it again. like it'll be a while before I feel like I could watch it again, because it was like, man, it was heavy. Yeah, it's something where I need to be in a very like I don't know, thoughtful, like introspective mood maybe, or something. And maybe, definitely don't watch it if you're already kind of like feeling down, because like I said, I was like emotionally drained after watching. I'm like, oh boy, like this is a lot, because it very much like brings up all these things that are just like, these are things that happen to people in our world, and we just like step over the homeless, and we just like, spit in their face, and programs get canceled, and like people can't afford their medicine, and this is the monster that gets spit out. And it's just, it's scary. It's sad. Not that obviously we've never had anything to that extent, to a super villain in our day and age. Sure. But I mean, there's still some crazy people that pop up with, there's different serial killers and stuff that, it's just a scary world that we live in. This movie really kind of like, in a weird way, revealed that. It's like, oh shoot, like this is too real almost.
Yeah.
But I still recommend watching it. Like but it's not for the faint of heart. Like, go watch it.
Yeah.
But if you don't think you can handle, like, don't watch it.
Yeah. But definitely, if you like good movies, good films, or films that make you think.
That's the thing. It was, just from the film perspective. Yeah, I didn't even mention that. I forgot. Just the shots and the angles and the lighting was beautiful throughout the entire movie. Like, it was so artistic. It was incredible.
Extremely.
The sound design is the best I've ever heard.
The music choice is amazing throughout.
As the best soundtrack, like matches and just fits perfectly. Mm-hmm. And then even the sound effects, like walking into a room and it's just like the gunshot sounds and like then the emptiness and quietness, like bang, bang, like the spacing of it. Like it's not like bang, 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 like loud, boom, boom, John Wick. It's like very intentional and dramatic and in your face, and then dead silence. And then like a laugh, like his horrifying laugh that you hear in the trailer. Like, the sound design, this like grips you. Like there's so many times during this movie, you feel that tightness in your chest, or I even started like, I was close to the edge of tears a couple times. Like it's emotional roller coaster, like you said.
It is.
So go see it if you can. Like if you can handle it and if you have the chance. It's very much.
He's getting emotional here in the studio as we speak.
So, yeah. Any other thoughts on it?
No, just amazing film, and I implore everybody to go and watch it if you have the chance. It's really, and it's something to behold in an audience setting. That's the other thing. Watching it in the theater with other people around you, with our community.
And especially with the picture and sound design of it, like watching in the theater, I feel like added to the impact. If I watch this at home, I don't know if it would have had the same impact, just because I don't have a surround sound and a 200-foot TV or something. Like.
And there were other people in there, and you could feel the weight of this movie throughout the whole audience. It wasn't just us. Nobody was. You might have had one person eating right next to you for a little while.
There was this lady who was sitting next to me that was eating this very loud bag of something that she brought from home. I was tempted to just go tell someone, go be like, "Hey, she brought snacks in and she's being loud. Get her out of here!" Like I was like getting
You're that guy.
I was getting pretty angry.
Why don't you just look over and go, "Hey, can I get a bite of that? Can I just get one handful of that snack, whatever you got?"
And then there's a few times she laughed at like parts that weren't funny. I'm like, this isn't funny. Like there's one time I straight up just like. This like,
oh yeah, he looked over his shoulder and gave her the dirty dog.
She was sitting, and then you had to look over my shoulder. She was next to me, like literally the seat, like she was like a foot and a half from my body. I literally just like turned and stared at her for like a second.
Garrett's like, I just stared at you for half a second. I almost settled your hash, lady.
Are you kidding me right now? Like it was something where like maybe I think Joaquin Phoenix was laughing in the movie or something, but it's like, this isn't a funny moment. Like he's laughing because he's the Joker. Yeah. This is not funny. You should not be laughing at this moment. No. But so that ruined it. There was a couple scenes that were like a little funky. I was like, it would have been better if someone wasn't laughing to my left. But
the other thing about that movie, one final thing on that movie, and then we'll wrap it up. I want to say that I didn't fall asleep. I'm very proud of myself.
Yeah, and because he fell asleep in like Avengers Endgame.
Every movie I fall asleep because they have those reclining chairs. They're so darn comfortable. Little fat guy, half sleep apnea going on. And I just passed right out.
Snoring. It's bad.
Yeah, but I didn't through this, and I couldn't, and I probably won't even be able to sleep tonight after that movie. So just saying.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for listening and watching to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. if you haven't, go rate and review us over on iTunes. That would be super helpful. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, like our video. That helps a ton. You can check out our Patreon, patreon.com/supergamerboys. You can go over there and support us. If you want to get your name shouted out, we have our sponsor tier and our producer tier, or we have lower tiers if you just want to, if you just really love our stuff and you don't have, just even $1, $2, that helps so much with getting us closer to our goals of being able to get better equipment. And even we have a goal on our Patreon now where if we hit $100 a month, we are going to start doing a bonus episode every month where we just sit and chit chat. We might get a couple friends. It's going to be kind of like a sit down and hear about stories from our life and stuff like that, kind of goof a little bit, have a little bit of fun.
And if you give enough money on Patreon, well, then I might just talk about you on the show. I might just make stuff up all about you.
If you want to hear JJ like crack some joke about you, all you have to do is support us for just 1 month. You can do that. You can support for a month and then cancel it. So if you want to hear JJ talk about you for a month, which is about what 4 or 5 episodes.
More than likely there'll be some reference to chlamydia or some other STD.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Remember, you can also buy our merch. I didn't talk about at the top of the show. We do have merch. Supergamerboys.com/store. Go over there. Check out our sweet t-shirts we have, hoodies, socks.
You want to rock a t-shirt that's bright yellow that says Nerdy Newds? Well, you get that on our store.
Heck yeah.
It's amazing. I want to wear that shirt just to make others feel uncomfortable around me.
I know. I need to get one. I want to wear it because then I can actually wear it on the podcast, but it'd be pretty sweet.
You gonna give me one, Garrett?
I want to get the purple one. I like the purple with the white print.
I'll wear the yellow one if you want to pick me up one. I got you. I'll pay you back later.
Yeah, right.
What?
You can also find us during the week, supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram @supergamerboys, facebook.com/supergamerboys. Please go like us, follow us at all those places because then you get all the updates for when new episodes come out. If we have other special events like our spooky Gamer Boys that were coming out every Thursday this month. My personal Twitter is @gmorlang, and then you can find JJ at...
My personal Twitter is @JJPurdom.
Thank you so much to Star Andrews for our logo. You'll see that if you, I guess, look at our podcast album artwork, and even at the beginning of the show, I guess you see it too, the whole game cartridge. He kind of helped design that a little bit. You can find her stuff at Ground Floor Graphics on Instagram and facebook.com/groundfloorgraphics. Alrighty. It's been a good one.
It's been a great one. I'm feeling good about this.
Yeah, I feel like I'm starting to warm up a little better to the camera. Last week I felt like super awkward because I don't like cameras looking at me.
You still are awkward.
A little less awkward though.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Oh.
I'll get better in time.
No, you won't.
In the next, I bet in the next month I'll probably be a pro.
Oh, he's going to be like a pro.
Yeah.
What is a pro like?
I wouldn't know. Never met one.
Me either.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for watching.
For Garrett, I'm JJ. We are the Super Gamer Boys.
We'll catch you on the flippity flop.